Hi, I'm Rodney Johnson, co-editor of Boom and Bust as well as Survive and Prosper. I'm currently in a fight with a Mexican drug cartel. No, I'm not leading a double life as a drug enforcement agent. My problem is with the Knights Templar cartel, and they're screwing up my cocktail hour. One of the joys of living in Florida is that we get to watch beautiful sunsets while sitting around in our shorts nearly year-round. On weekends, this activity is enhanced by a gin and tonic, which cannot be properly made without limes. And that's where the problem is. The Knights Templar control the wholesale distribution of goods out of a region of Mexico where limes sold in the U.S. come from. The extortion by this cartel, along with a tough year for weather, has sent the price of limes through the roof, doubling in just a few months. This leads to ungarnished cocktails, or worse, gin and tonics with a sugary processed lime substitution in them. That's no way to toast a sunset. But all this brings up a bigger subject, and a more serious subject. While I might be annoyed by all this, I'd imagine the farmers, pickers, truckers, and others involved in agriculture in Mexico aren't just annoyed, they're fearful of being killed. That's no way to run an industry, and it's certainly no way to run a country. How is it that Mexico can be geographically attached to the richest, hungriest country on the planet and still be run like Chicago in the 1880s? They've often been considered the next investment darling of emerging countries, and they never seem to break out. It leaves investors a bit poorer and certainly frustrated. It's not like Mexico hasn't been given a chance. The North American Free Trade Agreement created a free flow of goods moving to the north and a free flow of jobs and factories moving to the south. Dotted along the border of U.S. and Mexico are rows of factories just on the Mexican side that would be illegal here because they pollute too much and pay too little. We as consumers in the U.S. benefit from lower prices, while Mexicans enjoy an increase in employment, trade, and tax revenue. And yet, here they are. They have an armed insurrection in the southwestern provinces. Villagers have to take up arms to protect themselves, and drug cartels control mainstream businesses. If that's not bad enough, the state itself allows monopolies over telecom, energy production, and a host of other sectors, all of which makes a tiny group of industrialists really rich, while the typical Mexican is much closer to poor. From 1980 to 2010, Mexican GDP per capita, or per person, rose 22%. Well, in Latin America in general it rose 33%, and in the U.S. it was 66%. The number of Mexicans living in poverty over those same 30 years barely dipped from 53% to 51%. For the 11th largest country in the world by both population and GDP, it just seems odd. Think about it this way. The median income in Mexico in 2010 was about $4,400. In Greece it was $16,000. And in the U.S. it was $30,000, and these are all inflation adjusted. Does it make sense that workers in the U.S.'s third largest trading partner, the same nation that's been our neighbor forever, make about a fourth of what they make in Greece? All that being said, they are making some progress. The last president, Felipe Calderón, vowed to fight the cartels, and he started what's become something of a small-scale civil war in the country. This approach has been carried on by the new administration, although with much less fanfare. There's no way to overstate how awful it must be to live through that, and the success is questionable so far, but at least they're trying. Newly elected President Enrique Nieto has pledged to privatize many industries, which in theory should lead to greater democratization of wealth and reduce cronyism in the country and encourage foreign investment. When the cartels are marginalized and major industries return to private hands, Mexico should be on a path to strong growth and decent investment returns. I hope it happens soon. My ice is melting. Until the signs of change and privatization are clearer, well, it's probably better that you keep your pesos in your own pocket, or at least out of Mexico.